dazu.
Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. I hope you are all doing well. So for this video I am just going to discuss the things you need to know if you're new to co-driving. So basically, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I am new to co-driving. I had a lot to learn, so I thought I'd create this little video for myself for future reference, and also if it helps one person, then my job is done. So the first issue I'd like to cover in this video is cost, and this can range from cost of the entry, cost of equipment that is required for you as a co-driver, the cost of co-driver's notes. Sorry if I keep looking down, it's because I've made myself little points to remind myself what I'm talking about, and most importantly time. So the cost of the entry fee is usually covered by the co-driver, and depending on the event that you're actually entering, prices vary. The cost of pace notes also varies depending where you get them from, and the equipment you can either buy your own or hire/borrow like I did for this event. So following on the equipment side of what a co-driver needs, I'll start from the top. So helmet with hands clips, hands device, fire suit, and ideally a watch, your watch. What I did learn, mentioning the watch, is your time on your phone is not going to be exactly the same time as rally time. They have set up in the documentation area of the event, so make sure you set your co-driver watch to rally time and don't go off your phone time when taking part in the event, because it might be a minute out, might be 30 seconds out, so just stick to your watch and don't use any other time really. So I mentioned time as a cost. I narrowed this down to recceing. Minimum you'll lose is a day. You can spend up to 3 or 4 days combined over evenings doing recceing with other people. Other people are happy to help. You get a road book. So that's what you get when you sign on for your recceing. So you get your recce plate, which in this case was pink, your road book. So two aspects of that: you're recceing to the road book, and you also, if you're not familiar with the area, you're losing time on the road book. On, like in my case, I Google Maps everything. Yes, I am from the Isle of Man, but I didn't know where every road was, and they send you the different routes that you wouldn't normally go, so you're doing B roads instead of the main roads out round. The other aspect of cost and time is scrutineering, so that's an evening in itself. So I finished at 5, Tristan finished at 5. Lucky enough, he brought his car up to straight up to scrutineering after he finished. Scrutineering didn't open till 6, and then we soon learned that you had to do noise testing first, then scrutineering. However, they wouldn't give you this card before you handed in your recce plates, and they wouldn't scrutiny your car if the numbers was not on the car. So sorry, you hand in your recce plates when you finish recceing to get your scrutineering card and your numbers. Lucky enough, my sister helped me on this time. I actually left my recce cards at home because I was advised I didn't need them, and then when it actually came to scrutineering I did need them. So just make you aware of that your recce cards do need to be handed in before you get your scrutineering cards and your numbers for the event. The next point I'd like to cover is co-drivers' notes themselves, or pace notes. So we've got this one here. So once you've got your notes, ideally you're going to go through where the stages are and tab them like this, as you can see. As I mentioned in my previous video, I was lucky enough to give Chloe my notes and I had hers, and she already tabbed them for me, but it does actually benefit doing that. In this Manx National Rally, we repeated different stages on the same stage on different days, so it was just a case of going to the tab on that stage and it would open straight away. This is what it's going to look like. All looks alienated and really confusing. Looking off with these notes at the front of the page. So here you can see that each arrow or exclamation mark is explained what it is, which I did refer to every time I was reading the notes when recceing. I was flicking through pages to see what that symbol actually meant when calling a note, and over time they just come naturally. Each driver might be different, so they might not want you to let you know that the corner tightens or opens. So example here, this note here to there, all the way down to there, all this as well. As it's underlined, you would read that as one note. So as you can see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners, as well as 8, 9, 10 additional gaps in between. So if your driver wants it read, read it, but be prepared to read it fast. I'm no expert, I'm just giving you my advice on how I found the co-driver's notes. The next section I'd like to cover is the road book itself. So here's the one we got with the Manx National Rally. As you can see, I have tabbed it again. Now for this one, the reason I tabbed it was just so I knew how to get from end of stage to the next stage. The road book does contain 2 sections to each stage, so it does contain how to get from stage 2 to stage 3, and then the second part of that is stage 3, so where the bale's going to be, etc, etc, and then it says stage 3 to stage 4. So on my tabs here, what I've done is, so if I go to here, flip it around, that tab should have took me from the end of stage 4, and then you need to follow these directions to service in this case. Now the directions to me, so stuff like this was completely new and challenging. Like I said before, the organisers send you on B roads instead of the main road you drive 9 to 5, say, and they send you that way to 1, keep out of traffic, 2, to keep the times between stage. So once you've arrived at the stage, for your road book, if I get an example, so your road book is going to finish with, sorry, I'm trying to mirror this, arrival control and start control. So when you get to arrival control, this is where your time card side of being a co-driver kicks in, which we'll talk about now. So as mentioned, the next section is time cards. This is what they look like. Sorry, I will get the hang of this. Just trying to mirror it off my phone. So this was for day 2. Unfortunately, we were retired in stage 9. So your first card is going to have your start time for the day, and then what time you need to arrive at the first stage. Also like to add, we fill out this side, the time card people and the event staff fill out this side. We don't touch this side, we fill out this side. But what they write in these boxes is what we copy in here. Here's the arrival time, and then here, this one, oh, come on. It's how long we've got on the stage, how long the stage time is, so we can do it in 29 minutes. And then once you finish, so they put your finish time in here, you're working out this time here plus this time here, and then that's your arrival time, proposed arrival time for the next stage. So that was just my overview of time cards. Someone could probably go into a lot more depth about it, but the first time being a co-driver, that's what I've learned. The next point is the final instructions document. Now this usually comes by email from the organisers, and they post it on their website too. And then from this you are advised when you can go and pick up your recce plates and road book, and what time their offices are open, when you're due to scrutineer. In this rally we had a drive, it mentioned what time our driver's briefing was, etc, etc. The last point I have here on my little note was to ask questions. Now for me, Facebook is a wonderful thing when it comes to rallying, quick status, and quite a lot of people are happy to help you. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Everything's new. You can never overlearn something. Yes, everyone does things slightly different, but you just find the solution that works for yourself. To summarise up this video, I'd just like to mention that when you do go and get your recce cards and your road book, keep all of your recce cards for when you finish recceing, because you do need to go back to the documentation office, like I said, to get your scrutineering card for the car and your numbers. Once you've done the noise test, you go into scrutineering. Once you've done scrutineering, you'd park up and then take all documentation to the documentation office. That's your license, your insurance, your membership for the club that you're representing, your scrutineering card. You hand all that in. Then the organisers of the event have acknowledged that you're ready to take part in the rally. Like I said at the start of the video, this is just my view on the first time co-driving, and I just wanted I thought there was a need to share it. You might do things completely different. So I'd like to thank everyone who's helped me with my experience first time co-driving. You know who you are, and I'll catch you in the next video.